So I know I've been dragging the Jimmy Butler situation for a while. However, there's just so much information to talk about that I felt like another video was kind of necessary. As you see in the title, there's two new teams that are interested in Jimmy Butler, and the first team, I'm gonna get right into it, is the Toronto Raptors. As a tweet from NBA Central says, the Toronto Raptors are looking to involve themselves in the Jimmy Butler trade sweepstakes, per Smith Raps. As the quote says, it's not that they want Butler. His skill set, age, $52 million player option for next season, and longer-term financial desires make him about ill-suited to join this roster. But General Manager Bobby Webster and President Masai Ujiri are trying to be facilitators and benefactors in what ultimately happens with Butler, the disgruntled Heat wing who has asked for a trade. And this kind of leads to the next point, as the Toronto Raptors are highly motivated to trade Bruce Brown, and he could become potential buyout candidate if no trade materializes, per Jake L. Fisher. And his quote reads, "The Raptors are very motivated to move Brown and his $23 million salary," sources said, in hopes of growing the return from trading Pascal Siakam to Indiana on January 17th, 2024. If no trade materializes involving Brown, he would surely be in great demand as a buyout candidate, as Brown is making a lot of money, and he could be a person that they could trade for Jimmy Butler. I don't know. It may or may not be a coincidence that they are saying that they want to trade Bruce Brown around the same time that they actively said they want to trade for Jimmy Butler. So, I don't know, maybe we see a Bruce Brown for Jimmy Butler package. I don't know, obviously the Raptors have given up more, but we could see that. The next team that is interested is actually the Milwaukee Bucks. As another tweet from NBA Central says, the Milwaukee Bucks remain interested in Jimmy Butler and are reportedly willing to trade Chris Middleton to acquire him, per Brett Siegel. And then the quote reads, amid rumors surrounding Butler and the Bucks possibly emerging as the main dark horse to land him in a trade deadline blockbuster, the one thing that everyone needs to be aware of is that Milwaukee is a second apron team. Aside from Miami's opinion on what the Bucks have to offer, this is the only real scenario in which Milwaukee would be willing to move Chris Middleton before this year's trade deadline, sources said. So in simple terms, this quote basically means the Bucks are willing to trade for Jimmy Butler, and it would be a package around Chris Middleton, right? So, let me know what you guys think about that. But, the Bucks could also be a team that gets Jimmy Butler. And honestly, Jimmy, Giannis, and Dame could be a very scary trio. So, I don't know there. So we obviously got the Bucks and the Raptors in the Jimmy Butler sweepstakes now. But the team that Jimmy Butler really wants to go to is the Phoenix Suns. As another report came in saying, Jimmy Butler would reportedly prefer to play as a third option behind Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, rather than play behind Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo. This is per Ramona Shelburne, and the quote read, on the court, Butler began to believe that the Heat were prioritizing Adebayo and Hero over him, sources close to Butler said. If they're doing this transition to Bam and Tyler, Jimmy's like, fine, do your transition, a source close to Butler said. If he's going to be the second or third wheel, he'll be that in Phoenix with Kevin and Devin Booker. So, honestly, this makes a lot of sense. Like, if he's going to be a third option, might as well be a third option to two of the top 15 players in the league, right? And we also got another report saying Phoenix has also discussed using the one first-round pick it is still allowed to trade, and it's 2031, in various talks around trying to acquire Jimmy Butler, multiple league sources told ESPN. And this is basically saying they're willing to trade first-round picks for him, I guess just one that they have, and they've been trying to offer a lot of things for Jimmy Butler. So that also tells us that Phoenix is actively engaging with Pat Riley to try to get this deal done. So those are the three teams that are actively engaging in Jimmy Butler trade talks. But what comes next is kind of confusing. So I'm gonna give you guys a lot of the facts, and you guys can kind of make your own opinions from that. So first, we got a tweet from Shams basically saying Jimmy Butler has doubled down on his trade request from the Heat, per Shams. So we already know he wanted to get traded a lot, but it looks like he keeps on bugging Pat Riley and the Heat organization to trade him. And we also got another report saying a source close to Jimmy Butler warns that the situation could become even uglier, per Ramona Shelburne again. And then she says Jimmy hasn't even really started. So I don't really know how it can get much uglier than it is right now, but potentially it could be. And we also found out before he returned to action Friday that individuals close to the Miami Heat do not want Jimmy Butler to be around the team, per Ramona Shelburne again. And then two quotes that stood out to her were saying, I don't know how he could come back to this locker room, and we don't want him back. So that is honestly a little ugly if you ask me. But obviously that didn't stop Butler at all, as he returned for Friday and Sunday's game, and an analysis behind it said, Butler has stated that he wants to be traded, but it seems the star forward is not planning to sit until the February 6th trade deadline. Instead, it seems Butler will play and be as available as possible for the Heat, perhaps aiming to show other teams that he still has plenty to bring to the table. It's unclear how much usage rate he'll have, So his fantasy upside, okay, whatever, we don't care about that. But right now, Jimmy is going to say, I'm not going to just sit around and not play because you guys are doing me like this. I'm going to play and still try to bring my trade value up, which honestly, I respect out of him. He's not going to sit around and mope. He's going to say, I'm going to play until you trade me, but I'm still wanting to get out of this organization. However, before he returned to game action on Friday and Sunday, another Heat source said, we let Jimmy do more than we ever let LeBron, D-Wade, or Alonzo do. And this is kind of like throwing shots at Jimmy Butler. So, I mean, it looks like the organization kind of has some ill feeling towards him right now because he wants to be traded. And after all that said about Jimmy Butler, like I said before, he didn't care and he went on to play Sunday and Friday. And he played pretty good on Friday, and then Sunday he played all right. He had like 8 points on Sunday and then like 18 on Friday. But after the game is kind of where it gets a little bit more spicy, as I'll just play his post-game interview and let you guys make your own opinions off that.
I knew I was going to play.
Jimmy, there was a lot said the last couple of weeks. I mean, I know it's hard to clear everything up in 1 second, but I mean, what was the plan going forward when you knew you were coming back? Was this the plan? Did you know you were at 7 games you were going to play tonight?
Yeah, I mean, that's what Dad told me. But it was a lot said by everybody, except for me, to tell you the truth. So we'll let people keep talking like they know everything, like they have all the answers. And then sooner or later, the whole truth will come out. But until then, we will continue to let people talk. And if I'm here, I will get out there and play.
So I thought that was very interesting because, you know, Jimmy Butler was basically saying people are kind of speaking for him and the real information hasn't really gone out yet. So whatever the real truth is, I mean, hopefully it comes out soon and we can see that. A few more interesting things Jimmy Butler said was, I don't got a problem with these guys. My beef is not with them, never will be. That was basically him on returning with the Heat. And it seems like obviously his beef was with Pat Riley, as they both have strong personalities and they both go at each other. I mean, he pressed him face to face, like he said in an earlier video, right? However, he still doesn't want to be with the Heat because someone asked him after the game saying, does he still find joy with the Heat? And he said no comment. And then someone also asked if he's going to stay with the Heat after the deadline, and he said, I'm going to hoop. So he was kind of PR trained there, but it's pretty obvious he doesn't want to be there. He really wants to get traded. So this is probably my last video on Jimmy Butler, but it was a lot of stuff right there. This is like probably my longest video in a while. But if something else bigger comes out, I'll make a video on it. But I don't really think something much bigger will come out unless he actually gets traded. So stay tuned for that, I guess. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. It's a pretty crazy video, pretty crazy news regarding Jimmy Butler. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it.